Hi, I'm Nicolene Peck, and I'm joined here with my son Porter, who's 17, and we are going to be talking about becoming best buddies with your children. In this video, Porter and I are going to be talking about our relationship and how we have become the best buddies that we are. And we're going to talk about different components that you're going to want to bring into your relationship so that you can have the greatest success in your relationship. There is a focus too that might surprise you, so watch for that too. Okay, so Porter and I have a good relationship, but instead of taking it from me, I want you to hear it from him, or hear what he thinks about our relationship. So Porter, explain to people, tell them what you think about our relationship. How would you describe that?
My family, especially my mom, she's my best friend, my brothers and sisters. It does not always have to start that way though. Like, you want it to be that way, but when you're being a parent, you don't try to be their friend.
That's true. So I wasn't trying to be your best buddy.
Yeah.
But we are. And like, we can talk about anything.
Yeah.
Literally anything. So Porter will be doing his schoolwork. He's sitting on his bed. And what do?
Just come and sit right next to me.
I know, I just like flop on his bed and we sit and talk, and it's the same thing. Like, I'm sitting in my office, I'm working, I'm in the kitchen, and he's just there and we're talking, and so literally the sky is the limit. There is nothing that we can't talk about. So Porter had a girl who was acting like she liked him, and he took her to a dance, and I was like, Porter, did you kiss that girl? And he goes, no, Mom, I would have told you if I did. And I was like, oh, you're right. Of course you would have told me, because he literally tells me everything. We have that type of an openness. I'm not afraid of hearing anything from you. He could tell me, Mom, I did this horrible thing. And I would say, okay, well, I'm glad you told me. Let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. You know, I'm not going to get emotional about anything that Porter shares with me, except for that love and attachment emotion to my best buddy. And so that is been my focus, not just with him, but with all of my children, to make sure that they knew home was always a safe place to make mistakes. I'm always there for you. I want to talk to you about anything and everything. But I was focusing on being the mom, though, not on being the friend.
Yeah.
Right? So what does it look like when a parent is focusing on being a friend versus a parent that's focusing on being the role of parent? So Porter, what do you think about the answer to that question? What does it look like? What have you noticed as far as a difference between what it looks like when the parent is focusing on being the role of parent, which we've done, me and Dad, versus maybe parents who are focusing more on just being the friend to their children?
Being the friend to your child is more like a passive parent. They're just like, oh, you don't want to do the dishes? Oh, it's okay. Because they don't want to hurt your feelings.
They're worried about feelings a lot. Yeah.
Or, oh, you're crying, have a cookie, here you go, let's talk about it. You want to go bowling, whatever. It's just stuff like that. But being the role of the parent, you still have that great love for them. And because you have that love, you make them do work so that they will learn how to work, learn life skills, and then they'll eventually thank you for it, and they'll realize that was all in love. Even if they didn't like it at the time, they will realize that was because you love them so much.
I'm a little bit awestruck at Porter right now. I'm like, what? That was wisdom. He's saying from his 17-year-old perspective that it is better for a parent to see who the child is going to become. And that in the end, the child is going to be grateful that the parent pushed them to that next level so that they would accomplish things and follow through with things and grow up, right? Porter's 17. He behaves like he's 20 most of the time. I mean, he truly is a mature individual, but it's because he has been given all of the power to grow up. And that comes through our relationship. And you know what? If I have to correct him, he doesn't take it personal and have a problem with that. Let's tell people how I correct you and what that looks like when truly we are the best of buddies in the roles kind of a way. So I want to tell you something before we move on to the next bits about correcting and how we do that.
Wait. Can I do it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Subscribe.
Yeah, totally subscribe. Why do they want to subscribe?
Because you're just awesome and they gotta watch more, of course.
Of course, you're awesome, Porter. Subscribe, watch more later. There's always tons more. Okay, let's talk about corrections. So, Porter, let's talk about corrections because I think a lot of people think if I correct my child, they'll hate me, right? And it doesn't have to feel that way. I think people wonder, how is that even possible? So what do we do in our family that makes it so corrections don't make anybody hate anyone?
We know that we all love each other and we all have our best interests in mind. But to get to that point, you have to practice corrections. So you start off practicing them in a safe environment where there's no negative consequence involved. And then once you actually get it into your head, get it going, then they'll know exactly what's going on and that it's just because they love you and they want the best for you.
Yeah, so true. So he's talking about pre-teaching. So I've pre-taught Porter ahead of time. This is exactly how I'm going to do a correction. So I'm going to start with a description that says, just now, this is what happened. And I'm going to describe the situation. Then I'm going to give him a reason why that wasn't such a good idea. Then I'm going to tell him what you should have done was this. And since you chose not to do the skill you knew, then you have earned an extra chore. And then after that, we have more practices and pre-teaching as he learns the better way to do it afterward. Because he knows that is the exact format that I am going to follow every single time, he knows that I'm not taking some mistake personally. I've told him ahead of time, I'm not going to take this personally, whatever it is. We're just going to correct, right? And what does that do for you?
It gets you don't have to be on your toes all the time. You don't have to be ready for anything. If you know that it's just going to be a correction, it sets your mind up to accept it and just be okay.
Yeah, and you have decided ahead of time, I am accepting it, because what's the point in not starting a power struggle? And when you say being on your toes, I feel like you're saying ooh, what's the game? What's the game? Okay, is that the offense? What's my defense? Kind of a thing where you don't have to do that. It doesn't have to be a battle or a power struggle. It can just be us having a moment of teaching, and it's totally fine. And when you can solve your problems like that, it changes your bond. It makes everything feel safe. Porter lives according to our family's morals, our religious beliefs, everything, because he knows how to learn from us, and it's because our relationship is so strong. The relationship literally holds everything together in the teaching, and it's powerful, right?
Yeah.
It's so powerful. I think a lot of people assume that because we're talking about how to follow instructions, how to accept consequence, accept no answers, that kind of thing, that I'm very closed off to any discussion as a parent, that I would be shutting somebody down all the time. Porter, do you feel shut down at our house?
Not at all.
Not at all, for sure. We talk about literally everything. Yeah. So what maybe is some skill or something that has helped you so that you don't feel closed off?
Disagreeing appropriately really changed my life.
You could say. I love how you say that. Okay, so how did it change your life?
It gives you a point of view, and it gives you a say in things that go on. It's not the parents decide everything. That's all, and that's it. Mm-hmm. You get your voice in there. You get your voice heard without being yelled at.
Yeah, exactly. Not that we are going to yell at you anyway, but you feel like, okay, I can be understood and I don't have to feel emotional about it. I can get my point out there. We can discuss it. So our family has a tradition of having a lot of open discussion. We have mentor meetings every week. We have family meetings. We discuss lots of things. We do lots of family activities together where we're talking and having open connection. So we don't spend tons of our time trying to isolate away from each other. We try to pull ourselves together as often as we can. So the same thing happens in just the day-to-day moments. We want to hear what you have to say, but it's got to be done in such a way that we respect the roles. Because if we don't respect role of mother as teacher, role of son as learner, then what happens is everything becomes dysfunctional and you won't end up best buddies. I just want to be a little vulnerable here for a second. Porter, you're gonna be like, oh no, Mom, you're gonna cry on camera. Okay, I'm gonna be a little vulnerable. Porter's my last one, and he's like almost gone, and I'm like gonna die because he's my last one. And I love grandmahood and looking forward to that, but it's like an end of an era for me that's coming up with my son getting to age as he is and having big things happen in his life. And when he was little and I knew he was going to be my last baby, my last child, I was so grateful. There was something so special about him. I mean, I love all of my children, but I felt like this is the last one God gave me, and he is going to be such a blessing to me. And from the time Porter was just little, we would go on little nature walks and things together, just us. And we would talk and we would look and we would work together side by side. And if I ever was working, he would come and work alongside me. And if I fell down, he would pick me up. And he has been the greatest blessing for this season of my life. And truly, relationships with our children can be that way. So Porter, you're growing up, son, and I'm gonna miss you when you're off doing all your adult things, but it has been a journey and a joy to get to be your mom and to be able to be best buddies with you. If you have enjoyed this video and you've put up with my crying, which means you've made it to the end, I would like to give you a free gift. So I have a Calm Parenting Toolkit that goes into some of the tools that I use to stay calm and to help Porter stay calm if he's ever having a moment when he's not, which truthfully does not happen really ever anymore. It's been a long time, but when you were little, you used to bite. Yeah. And stuff like that. So anyway, he and I have both benefited from these tools in this toolkit. We want to give it to you for free. So if you go in the description below this video and you click on the link that says teachselfgov.com/toolkit, you can have my Calm Parenting Toolkit for free. So click on the link and I'll see you there.